And hello there everyone, and this is Rakus96 here with another video. Today's video is a Nerf mod video. Yes, Nerf mod, Nerf mods, plural. I've done a lot of mods lately, and why do several videos going over these mods when I can do them all in one and have maybe a 10-minute video instead of having multiple 5-minute videos when I just ran a lot. So we're going to start off with some lower class blasters that I personally just love modding. First off is the Zuru X, little kind of jolt style pistol, single action prime in the back, and then nice shot there. It has a tiny little AR system and a tiny little plunger tube, so you can imagine it only has about an inch of draw, and that honestly stings. And then the air seal is about as good as you can get with a plunger tube of about this big. So that is the Zuru X. Moving on, here is a Fire Strike mod and holster. This is out of a old phone case. Nice Velcro pouch, available to go onto a belt loop here. Nice removable, quick draw. The case is actually cut out to the Fire Strike, as well as the hole in the bottom. Mods to the Fire Strike are quite extensive. Keyring draw, doubled spring and tripled catch spring, and then just the sheer impact is more than enough to clear easily. This is the same mods as the Night Strike V3, so I can easily tell you this will shoot about 760 minimum to about 80 feet max, 75 middle there. And then just a nice holster, nice flimsy, collapsible. Can easily throw it back in, put your keyring up, and then lock it back in, and ready to go. This one is definitely quite a favorite in my book. So moving on, the Air Warriors Air Max Baron. This is a remod. My first mod was a spring stretch, so that has clearly been taken care of to a new extreme. It has double the spring. ARs are removed. I don't know if you guys can see down there. It's not a clean removal, but drilled all the way through in the back to get all that airflow well into that barrel system. The darts sit a little bit further back. I do have Nerf Megas in here. The return spring has been left the same. The rotating plunger also left the same. Plunger tube. And might have briefly forgot that was loaded. But that's the Air Warriors Air Max Baron. Was gonna fire off both, but I personally love this. If I were to use a Mega Blaster in my loadout, this is what it would be. 2 shots, consecutive, one after another, with this kind of mod. As well, I forgot to mention, there's a spring edition in here. Little bit, the full spring is about that big. The added spring is about that big, so about half length. And it is nice hefty prime. And then we can also hear which barrel is going to fire next. Top one. So now the bottom one's going to go. Nice, good air seal as well. Moving on. The Nerf N-Strike Sling Strike. So this mod is pretty simple. No dart. I can prime. All locks removed. The cord, we can see, has clearly been retied, cut and retied. It can be done so many different times. In fact, while we're here on camera, I'm not going to be able to. But it's nice. It's a quick little draw blaster, as well as the dart holders on the side are left completely stock. It's definitely something you could be good at aiming if you have the time to sit there and aim up and physically practice. So definitely a very fun mod, and it goes with something. I wonder what. Alrighty, next up is this. The Nerf Dart Tag Hyperfire. I believe it is called the Hyperfire. Please correct me if I am wrong. The old school Hyperfire, with the rotating cylinder up here, top priming, heavy prime, and then Nice. Every time you pull the trigger, the cylinder rotates. I have so many of these. This is double springed, double stock spring, 2 springs, both stock. A heavier return spring, and as well, of course, with the 2 springs, how to double up the catch and the trigger return spring. And it still manages to rotate the barrels. And of course, this is not the most comfortable this close, unless this is like an assault rifle, like a Strife where you put a foregrip on. That's acceptable. But when you have to top prime like that, I don't understand why there's a foregrip, but it's comfortable. So that's the mod. The dart posts and ARs have been removed. That's why, if you couldn't tell, she is so loud. So she's loaded up with elites. She loves streamlines. Naturally, this was made for, I believe, Whistler darts. So modified to run on elites is definitely preferred. Alright, next up is the Zombie Strike Side Strike with the holster. I got this from my local Kmart on extreme sale, and I say extreme sale, I think it was like $5.99, all things considered. The holster, nothing done, nothing modified to the holster. So we'll just throw that aside. Now the Side Strike, plethora of mods. We can see that dart goes all the way in. The dead space has been mostly removed. We can kind of see in there now. You can easily see the plunger head. The O-ring has been removed and a new thicker O-ring added. 1 wrap of Teflon tape, double springed. We can hear the springs binding. You can kind of hear them rattling around. I'm a little upset about the rattle, but for the performance gain, I can live with it. This outshoots my other Side Strike mod by about 10 feet. So 10 feet, generally a good thing, considering that Side Strike shot, I want to say, about 60. So this is looking 70 feet. Have not completely range tested it yet, but from the mods, I am comfortable saying at least 65 feet. So that's the nice Side Strike. Dead space removal, AR removal, dart post, all that. And then repadded the plunger head just to make sure she's nice and fun to operate. Unfortunately, she does like to chew up the bottom of darts, just for some friction in there. So that is the Side Strike. Moving on to a mod I find freaking hilarious. This is the N-Strike Bow Strike, but it has no bows and it has no sight. This was a crude mod I did a late night, but it performs very well. Short little draw for decent, admirable performance. Same system, same setup there. I love these little pistol mods. All the dead space removed. Dart post and AR, clearly, if you're going to remove the dead space, they got to go. So that way a dart can go as far in. This is a bad elite dart. Yeah. As far in as you can physically get it. The prime is very small, but the insides on this thing, there's no spring, there's no catch spring, there's no trigger spring. It's all plastic, bending plastic back in place, so you can't put an extra spring in it, which is kind of annoying, but at the same time, if you're running this, you clearly are not necessarily thinking properly when you can use a Fire Strike with crazy mods. So next up is, this is a modification I have not yet completed. This guy right here looks a little crazy. This is a Nerf Zombie Strike Double Strike. Now, you can see this monstrosity mess here. We'll just cover that. This is a singled double strike. Singled, so it has a added spring in it. I forget what it was out of. I believe it was a Home Depot spring. The prime is much heavier. These are actually dart holders from a Night Finder, the bottom, both sides. Nice glued on. And then it's not necessarily the most powerful in the world, but it's not the worst with removing the Smart AR system. Gives this thing, that one barely left the barrel. Oh, we're vacuum loading. I see. That's how nice this is. There we go. So this blaster vacuum loads. I did not know that. So priming the blaster, inserting the dart about right there so it's flush. Getting very nice performance. Nothing to complain about at all. And this mod will be taking course over the next few days to be prepped and painted. It's already sanded, you guys can tell. Logo removal, all that. This will be painted and ready to go for a future video. Now moving on, this is the Modulus stock blaster. Stock blaster because it's a stock, but it's a blaster. You can see my priming handle is twisted the opposite way, so I always remembered this one is modified. I have multiple of these. So I know it's always modified. It has a heavier spring in it, AR and everything left in, because I don't want this being crazy like the rest, and I don't want to accidentally damage it. But that's a nice confirming pop. And this is the dart holder from the Ion Fire, nicely strapped onto the tactical rail here. Of course, when I want to show you guys, it doesn't work. We'll just have to do it the hard way. Slides right on, and I can easily pop, reload, prime, pop, reload, prime, and etc. with 2 extra darts. You guys understand the point. And of course, these are actually brand new Elites, except for a few. So that is the Modulus stock blaster. Next up, this is a funny mod. I recently acquired a few deploys I'm not necessarily that proud of. But this is what I chose to do with one. I'm not a fan of the deploy. I don't like how it deploys like this. That's not necessarily like cool. I mean, yeah, having a mag well on the side is decent, but on the top, why would you ever have this on? I don't understand it. So clearly the stock is gone. Everything else is normal. Stock deploy, except for that, except for the Raider handle down here, which surprisingly goes right on a Nerf deploy. Stepping on darts. It goes right on with a little bit of teasing, and of course the barrel attachment mechanism has been removed. It was actually broken when the blaster was taken apart, so load up. It doesn't like Elites too well. It also does not like the new N-Strike magazines for some reason. They fit in very rough. So I'm not too sure what's going on with that, but this was just a fun little, you can even flip it sideways and use it like you would. I'm literally killing all these Elite darts right now. Priorities, bro. So that is the Nerf deploy mod. Moving on, this is a stock Strife with a 12-round straight mag, but this is my long shot stock. Long shot, clearly the long shot stock with a recon stock, mating them perfectly bonded together. A little bit of hot glue until this is prepped and ready for epoxy putty and paint. So with it comes a wonderful system. You're out there, you're slaying zombies, humans, whatever you gotta do, you're out. Drop, pull, in. The life of having a Straven, such as I do, but having a removable stock that you don't necessarily have to rely on epoxying and epoxy puttying and the sanding time and the cure time and this and that and that and this, and then, you know, everyone's saying, oh, it could have been cleaner. It doesn't matter. You can slap a stock on and go haywire. Easily pop that back in, go in from a pouch, pull out another mag, reload, and off you go. So those are all of the smaller modifications onto the big one, and the reason this video was made. And that is because I killed another Elite dart, That is because of this. This is a crossbolt. You guys are sitting there saying, oh, why is it a crossbolt? Well, this is my crossbolt. And this is my modified crossbolt. So starting off by saying I love the crossbolt. I know in my original video, I absolutely hated it because of this mag release. And yeah, there is so many people out there. They tell you how to fix the mag release. They tell you how to do this. They tell you how to do that. I'm going to tell you right now, I watched every single video, and the crossbolt's been out of pretty, not long, but a decent amount of time now. There's a lot of videos out on how to mod them and what to do. Everyone is doing it wrong. And I'm jumping on a leap there. All you have to do to this mag release is add a tougher spring. Everyone's saying, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. Well, this button, I can shoulder it, right? And I am pushing the blaster back into my shoulder. This is not moving. Generally, on the old system, you would hit right about here on the first ridge, and the mag release would go in. Well, I hate to tell you, you have to do it halfway through to the top, and the mag, I have it in here, the mag does not drop out. You have to push and pull. So it's easy for when you're firing to come back, push it in, and pull the mag out, then slide a new one in. But that's not the only modification. There are no locks, so no magazine, but I can still prime the blaster. Clearly, I can still prime the blaster. Now, the string has been minimized by, I'd say, at least 2.5 inches, and then tied and then routed through the side here, the side I chose to remove, through there. So I'd probably say a good 2.5 inches, including that swivel inside there. But this thing shoots crazy. On crossbolts and any crossbow we've had so far, from Nerf anyway, these arms don't move. They're stationary. Watch what happens when I pull this back. The frickin' arms bend with it. That is nuts. When I fire it, that noise is so satisfying. And that's why I have the foregrip. Generally, I don't like foregrips because I'd want to choke up, especially with this where you gotta prime it on top. There's no pump action or anything like that. Someone should really get on that. But with the foregrip, it's just a orange retaliator foregrip because it goes with the rest of the orange on the blaster. I'm really having a problem with tack rails today, and it flows nicely. But these freaking bow arms, just so you can see them relax, they barely move, but they're not supposed to move. They're thick plastic. For them to bend, they're under a lot of tension. Internal, like I said, all locks removed. Every single piece that came out of it, except for the essentials, the little catch guy back here that actually grabs the string. There's a spring holding him forward. There's a little, the actual release that pushes that that pushes that up to release it. Has a littler spring, and then there's springs everywhere. The trigger's got a return spring, and it likes to shoot out everywhere. This blaster was apart for, I swear on my life, it was apart for a week, and I didn't touch it for 5 days. I started it, took out all the locks, figured out how much I was going to cut the string, and couldn't figure out how to work on this mag release. Every single time I put it in, I'd go to shoulder it, magazine would fall right out. And that was unacceptable. So I took the time and I made this mag release, can't even talk, and I made it work. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to finish off the rest of this 10 mags because I love this freaking thing so much. Dry fires. But that's the video, guys. Nice, clean, empty. This, as of right now, is one of my favorite stock mods I've done. Stock mods, as in like a sleeper mod. Next to the Raven, this is my second favorite. So that is that. I'm going to be filming an update video, another update video. But I have a lot to say and a lot that I kind of just want to talk about. So I'm not going to do that in a formal sit down. I could do another sit down and chat. Hey, we haven't had one of those out in a while. But thank you guys very much for watching. Pretty long, pretty drawn out. Some mods I've done, some things I'm currently working on, like that stock and the double strike, and some epic mods that have been happening that are on the back burner right now. But thank you guys again very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and Nerf.